New York City journalist Ben Manalowitz lives a metropolitan lifestyles of informal romantic relationships. Late one night time, he gets a telecell smartphone name from a stranger, Ty Shaw, informing him that his girlfriend Abby Shaw has died of an obvious drug overdose. In actuality, Abby changed into one in every of Ben's many informal romantic relationships whom Ben slightly remembers, so Ben is burdened to get hold of this past due nighttime name from a heartbroken brother. However, at Ty's insistence, Ben flies to Texas to wait the funeral. He meets Abby's own circle of relatives, brother Ty, mom Sharon, sisters Paris and Kansas City, more youthful brother recognized as El Stupido, whom we later analyze is known as Mason, and Granny Carol. Ty informs Ben that he suspects Abby changed into sincerely murdered, adamantly retaining that she in no way took drugs, and asks Ben to accompany him to discover the fact and avenge her. After conferring together along with his podcast manufacturer Eloise, Ben elects to resource them as a part of a tale approximately grief and denial. Ben and Ty journey to the oil pumps to fulfill Ty's buddy Crawl, who explains that events regularly arise on the oil fields, that there may be a gap simply outdoor wherein the events are generally held. This is dubbed the after party, wherein lifeless our bodies were stated over time, and that there may be a selected drug provider named Sankolo whom Ty suspects might also additionally have killed Abby. Ben meets Quentin Sellers, an eccentric file manufacturer who, like Ben, is an interloper and college knowledgeable, however has come to undertake Texas as his home. Quentin offers Ben a reminiscence stick that has video and audio of Abby performing. Ben receives to recognize Abby extra through those videos, gaining knowledge of approximately her own circle of relatives and her. He find out how an awful lot the own circle of relatives cherished every other. Ben confronts Sankolo outdoor of a bar to talk about Abby's dying, and Sankolo exhibits he changed into in Tulsa at the night time of Abby's dying and reiterates Ty's perception that Abby changed into now no longer a drug abuser. Ben later joins the Shaw-owned circle of relatives at a rodeo, wherein he by accident attracts the group's ire with the aid of using expressing guide for the Texas Longhorns, whilst the group is overwhelmingly in desire of the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Ben speaks to regulation enforcement organizations with inside the place and learns that they every generally tend to shift duty of the after party to any other employer due to the fact it's far in a niche wherein the jurisdictions overlap. While talking with Eloise approximately the up-to-date fame of the display, Eloise informs Ben that the display might be previewed on NPR. His vehicle then explodes. To his surprise, the entire Shaw-owned circle of relatives involved see him and takes him to Whataburger for the primary time. During dinner, Eloise tells Ben that the tale is completed and to return back home, a lot to Ben's dismay. When again inside, Granny mentions that Abby turned into in reality a drug user, and that Ty had lied to Ben to try to get in the direction of her meant boyfriend. Leaving the restaurant, Ben well-known shows that he turned into now no longer near with Abby, and he criticizes their lives. Ty punches him with inside the stomach, and that they go away separately. Later, as Ben and Mason are approximately to fall asleep, Mason mentions how Abby could communicate in code with him, saying 1435, "I love you mucho." Enlightened, he makes use of that range to liberate Abby's phone. He sees a person else labeled Ben in her phone, and he reads texts indicating that she turned into deserted via way of means of this person. Armed with one in every of Ty's pistols, Ben rides with Mason to a celebration on the oil pumps. After mastering that his vehicle turned into blown-up via way of means of Texas Tech lovers from the rodeo, Ben meets with Ty and Quentin. When Quentin and Ben begin talking, they move again to Quentin's tent. Ben notices Savera packaged tablets that healthy the outline given via way of means of one of the regulation enforcement officers, and he sees an subconscious female being dragged out of the tent. After turning off his essential recorder, Ben elicits a confession from Quentin, who confirms that he triggered Abby to overdose, after which dragged her to the after party, wherein she later died. Ben pulls out his phone, which recorded the complete confession, and Quentin expands upon how there's greater tale in an effort to be told, approximately how interest might be shifted to Ben, than to Abby's own circle of relatives. Ben executes Quentin with Ty's pistol. Upon returning to the Shaw house, Ben reconciles with Ty. Ben deletes his recordings, electing to hold the tale among the Shaws and himself. He departs from Texas,